Hello, hello. I wanted to make a video for you today about Luminous and in Love. And for those of you who have been considering the program and trying to decide whether now is the right time for you, my hope is that this video will help you to make a decision for yourself about whether it's the right time for you to join us, because the doors are open and I am welcoming you in if this feels right for you. So let's talk about the Luminous and in Love journey. So the Luminous and in Love Mastermind is a high-level group coaching 6-month program that will explore cultivating presence and learning deliberate creation or manifesting skills to support you to expand with authenticity and pleasure and joy. What I like to call expanding with luminosity and living a luminous life, or a luminous and in love life, if you will. So this program is for deep, soulful humans, for change makers, for those of you who have big desires, who are feeling ready to expand and want to be supported in that process. I'll explain to you and share examples in a bit here of what some other people who have joined this program have been thinking about and working on, just to give you some examples. But really, this is about you tuning into what it is that you desire, what would help you to feel luminous and in love in your life, and then moving toward that over these 6 months. So this program is for you if you are a beginner, or if you've never done manifesting practices, if you don't know anything about them but you'd like to learn and you're curious. If you are sort of intermediate, like you've learned some things about manifesting but you'd like to keep practicing and you'd really like an intentional community to practice in, this is for you. This is also for you if you love intentional growth communities. If you love being in a community like that, then this would be a great program for you. It's for you, as I've mentioned already, if you have big desires, if you're noticing these big desires on your heart and you're feeling like you want to expand, this would be a great space for you. It's for you if you're willing to look at your life and notice your thoughts and your mindset, your beliefs, and really do the inner work that it takes and take actions to commit to creating change in your life. If you are feeling all those things, this will be a transformational experience for you. It's not for you if you don't enjoy groups, because it is a group coaching opportunity. It's also not for you if you wouldn't enjoy the spiritual aspect of manifesting. You can approach manifesting from many different spiritual perspectives, and I tend to talk about the universe and use those terms to speak about manifesting. But if you wouldn't enjoy being in a space where we talk about connectedness to something bigger than you, whether that's nature or love or God or the divine, whatever you might use to fill in the blank there for that idea. If that doesn't feel good to you, this wouldn't be the right space for you, because there is a spiritual, soulful element to the program. It also wouldn't be for you if you're just not in the place of wanting to grow or expand right now. And I'm sure you've heard me say, there are different seasons of our lives, right? And sometimes we're in a space where we feel really content and we want to celebrate our contentedness. That's a beautiful thing. Sometimes we are just really, really spread too thin and we don't have space for anything more, or whatever else might be happening in your life. My point is, trust yourself. If you're like, I'm not feeling like I want to grow and expand right now, then join me another year. That should give you a sense then of if this is for you or not, at this time, at least. After you've gone through this program, you'll leave this program feeling confident and competent in your manifesting skills, which are totally translatable skills, right? You take them and you move on in your life and you live your life feeling this luminous and in love feeling beyond just these 6 months. You will know how to magnetize and attract what you desire into your life. You'll know how to navigate fears as they arise for you. You'll be more present in your life, and you'll will be intentionally becoming your next level self. So you'll be growing into this next version of yourself, who you are becoming. And what that means to us might be different. So just to give you some examples, this is the third year I've run this program. So throughout the last two cohorts, I can give you examples of what people who join the program were working on. So for you or for other people in the past, it might be about getting investors for your startup. It may be about falling in love with yourself and really giving yourself space to grow in your relationship with yourself and exploring what that means with pleasure and joy. It might be for you about growing in your leadership. Maybe you're seeking a promotion or you've just stepped into a leadership role where you really want to lead with authenticity and joy and you want support in that. Maybe this is about you have a lot of creatives in my spaces. So maybe you're writing a book, or maybe you are seeking to publish a book, or maybe you are working on a play or a podcast or recording an album, right? All of those things, it's really great to have accountability and support along the way. And this could be a great option for you in that case. Maybe you're ready to leave or you have just left a romantic relationship. Sometimes that is a time where we are in some transformation, transition, and have big desires around healing and feeling better, falling back in love with our lives in that way. Maybe you want to grow more in love with yourself and with your partner, right? If you have a partner and you want to build more love in that relationship, maybe that's what you're exploring. Maybe you want to become more visible in your business or more profitable. I love thinking about pleasure and profit as a way of expanding in your business. Maybe you want to focus on having a more loving and vibrant relationship with your body. Those are some things that past participants have explored within Luminous and in Love. And I'm sure there's other things. So if there's something that's on your heart that I haven't named here, I would love to talk with you about whether this is the right space for you to grow. But those are some examples, and I wanted to give you some examples. So your next steps, if you're like, I think I'm interested, are first of all, if you still have questions, if you're like, I'm still not sure about this or that, your next step is to email me and talk so that we can either hop on a call or just have some email chats about whether it's worth applying. If you're like, I think I am really interested in this, then it's worth applying. And the application is really for me to start to get a sense of what it is you're working on, to see if it feels like, I'm curating this group for this mastermind to make sure it feels like a good fit for this program. So once you've applied for the mastermind, I'll read through your application. And if it seems like this is either way, I'll be in touch with you. If it seems like this is a good fit for you, then we'll hop on a call. And if we set up that call and we talk and it does seem like it's a good fit for you, and it will explore how the mastermind would support you this year, if it feels like a right fit for you, then you'll sign up. And when you sign up, you'll have some pre-work to get yourself prepared to begin. You'll pay your deposit. And from there, we begin on February 7th. So a couple weeks from now, we'll begin with an opening circle to bring everyone who's a part of the mastermind together, which is such a beautiful way to start a program. And then from there will be monthly trainings each month. There will be mentorship, 2 group coaching calls each month as well. And then an integration week as well, just some time for you to have some time to work and explore the ideas from that month. There's also a private coaching option if you wish to add that on within the mastermind, or you can simply, you will have a wonderful experience if you do the group coaching track as well. You'll notice if you look at the program information, there's 2 tracks. And you'll be learning and applying manifesting skills throughout this time, throughout the 6 months. So, like I said, in this time, we'll be exploring magnetizing and attracting what you're desiring into your life with joy and pleasure. We'll be using those manifesting principles, and this will help you to strengthen your manifesting abilities, and how you'll have support from the group and from me, coaching you along the way. So just to give you a sense of the 6 months and what the trainings will focus on, if you're familiar with manifesting, they follow the steps of manifesting. So the first month we'll look at the idea of focus and clarity, really getting clear on what it is you're desiring and really connecting with your faith around what it is that you're desiring. The second month we'll really look into releasing your fears and releasing limiting beliefs as you move towards this thing you're manifesting and calling it into your life. In the third month, we'll talk about embodying feeling in love in your life and what that creates for you, which leads to the fourth month, where we'll talk about the concept of surrender and allowing and trust, and how that also helps you to magnetize your desires. From there, we'll talk about aligned, inspired actions in month 5, and we'll practice taking aligned and inspired actions. And in month 6, we'll talk about the practice of patience, appreciation, celebration, really huge when wonderful things are happening, and integration of all of this. So those are the 6 months. Those are the topics we'll be exploring. I would say what makes this different from other masterminds that you might consider being a part of is, first of all, you'll have people who are working on expanding different things within their lives, right? So this is about feeling luminous and in love in your life. However, it's not specifically a business mastermind. For example, you can bring business. We will absolutely talk about business if that's what you're growing, but there's also, you're bringing your whole self to this mastermind. So if there are other things that you want to explore, like a lot of people who are a part of the program are wanting to feel more love in their lives in general, whatever that looks like for you, that may be something we focus on. And of course, there's so many ways that we can look at love in our lives. So I just want to see that it's more, it's not as focused as a specific business mastermind. That's a slight difference from other masterminds. I would also say that this program offers you a lot of spaciousness. 6 months is a wonderful amount of time to grow together. I really love 6 months as a way to build community, and we'll be a small group. We're an intentional community. So the limit for this group is 24 people. And if you have been looking at different masterminds, you might notice that a lot of them are big these days. There are programs that you're joining that might be like 100 or 60 people within them. And this space will be much smaller group, which means that you'll get a lot of personalized coaching with me. And that is a real benefit I see to this sort of space, that you will get, you'll be part of a small community and receiving a lot of support in those ways. I also just want to tell you that if you I love creating these communities. And if you are drawn to my vibe and how I teach and how I create space for people, I just want to say that the quality of big-hearted, smart, soulful, deep, sensitive humans that come into these spaces, people who identify as change makers or leaders in some way in their lives, like you, likely if you're listening to this, are just delightful. And there's this real centering in that authenticity and pleasure and joy that just makes it such a beautiful space to be in, a very supportive space. So I think those things are really special about Luminous and in Love Mastermind. So what will life look like after you're a part of the program? I've already mentioned, but I'll say again that you'll know how to manifest. You will know how to manifest. You will be cultivating a deep sense of trust in yourself and the universe, really trusting that things are going your way. It's just such a beautiful thing to be able to move through your life with. You'll feel more sure of yourself and your choices, knowing you're good enough. Doesn't mean you won't have a few doubts every once in a while. I think that's a pretty normal thing, but you will know that you are good enough, and you'll know how to navigate the fears that might come up as you move through. If you are a big desire human, you'll know how to navigate those fears that come up for us, and then know how to return your mind and your heart and your feelings back to love, back to possibility. You'll know how to magnetize and attract goodness into your life, how to move through the hard times with more grace, and how to take inspired actions. So you'll know also what it's, you'll have a deep understanding of the idea of being patient, how it is to be patient and to surrender. Sometimes that's what's called for. And so we'll be talking about all those things in this program, and you'll leave the program just really with all of those things to aid you in your life. And of course, whatever big desire you are working towards, that may also be a part of what you leave with. Of course, there's no promises around that, because there is divine timing that takes place for each of us. And so, it is about really pursuing these practices, cultivating presence, understanding manifesting practices, and magnetizing goodness into your life and celebrating along the way. So a couple last things. The decision for joining this mastermind is coming up. Like I said, there will be space for 24 people in the mastermind. Enrollment closes Friday, January 28th, which is coming up real soon. So it's time to make a decision if you're thinking you might want to join. A couple of questions that I've heard from people about the program that I just want to answer now. One question has been, can you do it all online? The answer is yes. So if you're in Alaska like me, that's great. If you are somewhere in the US, wonderful, or Canada, that's great. And really, I have international clients that join me all the time. So if you're further away, wonderful too. I would love to have you join us. And if you're concerned at all about time zone stuff, let's talk. Just send me an email and we can talk about what that could look like for you. In terms of the time commitment, that's another thing sometimes people ask about. I think I've mentioned this, but I'll say again, there's one monthly training, and that could be up to 2 hours long. There are 2 group calls per month. Each of those could be up to 2 hours long. Then there'll be an integration week each month where you just have time to really work with the practices from that month. There will be an online community that is one that I would encourage you to be involved in, like an hour a week. So popping in there to support others, to receive support, to celebrate, to name things for yourself. That's the purpose of that community. And so, an hour a week might be how much time you want to spend in there. And then there'll be intentional practices, right? We'll have manifesting practices. You might have action steps from our coaching calls. So with all of that, that might be 1 to 3 hours a week, maybe. So I did the math on that. And what I would say is the program on average might be about 3 hours per week that you would be committed to a call or or some inner work or an action step that you're taking, some sort of practice. So it certainly could be more. You could spend more time, but I don't anticipate it being, I think 3 hours is a pretty good average in some weeks there'll be less than that. Some weeks maybe more if there's something you're really excited to delve into. A couple of people have asked me whether you can get private coaching within this program. And I mentioned earlier, there is a private coaching track. So if that's something you want, when you join that track, then you add in basically one 45-minute private call per month. And so that can be a really nice option if you think you really want some more personalized focused time for you each month, then that would be a great addition. Otherwise, the group coaching program, like I said, is awesome. You can get so much out of the program just through doing the group coaching. And then another question sometimes is whether there are scholarships for this program. And I always have scholarships for my programs. They're usually partial, and normally they're partial, and this as well as a partial scholarship. So the way that you can apply for that scholarship is to, when you fill out the online application, just indicate that you're looking for a scholarship. And then we'll talk about that and what would work for you in terms of that scholarship, what would work for both of us. So that is an option as well. If the only thing holding you back is the financial investment, I would encourage you to apply anyway. And then we'll talk about how that might work for you if there's a scholarship available. I think those are all the things that are the common questions asked. I hope this gives you a sense of what the Luminous and in Love program will be. I would love to invite you to join us if this is feeling like really, if you're feeling it, if you are feeling like, oh, I feel like I really want to feel more luminous and in love in my life. I have big desires. I want to expand. I want to learn more about manifesting. I want to practice that. If those things are on your heart, this program will be wonderful for you. So please reach out. Feel free to email me. You can directly apply if you would like. Remember, the deadline for enrollment is Friday, so we're coming up on it really quickly. And I hope that this has answered most of your questions and that we'll see you this year in the program, or if not this year, maybe next year. Just keep it on your heart for when the timing is right. And I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.